Welcome back to Enigmatic Echoes. Grab whatever you're drinking, coffee, bourbon, doesn't matter. We're in Louisville, Kentucky today. And honestly, either one is thematically appropriate. Now, most cursed tree legends, let's be honest, are a stretch. Some old oak looks spooky in the fog, a teenager tells a ghost story at a sleepover in 1987, and 40 years later, there's a plaque. That is not what happened here. This story comes with an actual verified deadly tornado attached to it. So buckle up, because this is the rare urban legend where the "and then everyone died" part is historically documented. This is the tale of the witch's tree. So picture old Louisville in the late 1800s, not the neighborhood of wraparound porches and Halloween decoration it is today, but a younger, rowdier city, still finding its footing. And at the corner of 6th Street and Park Avenue stood a maple tree. Big, healthy, unremarkable, except for who supposedly met underneath it. Local legend says this tree was the gathering spot for a coven of Louisville witches. Not Hollywood witches with green skin and cackling, more the old world kind, practitioners who came together at night to hold their rituals in the shade of those branches. Whether that's folklore or fact, nobody can prove it either way. But everybody in old Louisville will tell you it's true, and that's really all a good legend needs. Fast forward to 1889. The city is planning its big annual May Day festival, and some enterprising city planner looks at this tree and thinks, perfect maypole material. One small problem: the witches were already using it, and they were not thrilled about the eviction notice. Here's where the story gets an intense little edge to it. As the story is told, and this detail comes from local historian David Domain, who's done a lot of work collecting this legend, the head witch turned to the city and said, and I'm paraphrasing slightly for the chills, "Beware, Louisville. Beware the 11th month." The city cut the tree down anyway. Now, here's the part that should not check out, and does. For 11 months, nothing happened. No storms, no bad luck, no dramatic thunderclaps. Life just continued. And you can imagine the smugness, the "see nothing but superstition" energy settling over the city. Then, on March 27th, 1890, right around the 11th month mark, the witches supposedly named an actual historical documented tornado tore through Louisville. And I want to be clear, this wasn't a, "oh, some shingles came off" storm. This was one of the deadliest tornadoes to ever hit an American city at the point in history. It ripped through mansions, schools, churches, bourbon and tobacco warehouses, even the railroad station. Dozens of people lost their lives that day, including, depending who's telling the story, members of very planning committee that ordered the tree cut down. Sit with that for a second. A city ignores a warning. 11 months later, almost to the day, the sky opens up and swallows the town whole. If a screenwriter pitched you this timeline, you'd just say it was too neat. Reality apparently didn't get that memo. And here's the detail that turned this from sad historical tornado into full-blown legend. As the twister roared out of town, witnesses said a bolt of lightning struck the old stump, the exact spot where the original tree had stood. And by morning, a new tree had grown there, gnarled, twisted, wrong-looking, in a way healthy trees just aren't. That tree, or its descendant, it's still standing at 6th and Park today. Now, here's where the story splits into its two versions, and honestly, I think you should know both, because Louisville can't even agree on its own legend. Version 1 says the tree that grew back was the same maple, just cursed and twisted by whatever came through that night. Version 2 and this is the one you'll hear more from local tour guides, says the tree that grew is actually a hedge apple tree, sometimes called an Osei orange, which is completely different species from the original maple, meaning something didn't just curse that spot, something replaced what was there. Either way, what stands there now looks the part. Knotted burls up and down the trunk, branches that seem to reach into directions branches shouldn't reach. It looks less like a tree and more like something that used to be a person and had a very bad time on the way back. And this is where the legend stopped being history and became a living ritual, because people started leaving things in it. Not flowers, necessarily, beads, tarot cards, candles, graduation sashes, soccer balls somehow. According to old Louisville tour guide Angelique X. Stacy, who spent years cataloging what turns up in those branches, she's personally pulled underwear out of that tree. Her working theory, somebody was hoping for a little luck of a very specific kind. That unspoken rule is simple, and locals take it seriously. You can leave something, you do not take something. Disturb an offering that's already there, and you're not just being rude, you're rolling the dice on whatever's left of that 11th month grudge. Nobody's produced a body count for tree thieves. Nobody's eager to be the first data point either. Tour guides who bring groups by at night describe something almost every time. The second people stop laughing and actually look up into that canopy, the mood changes. Conversations drop off mid-sentence. People who were joking around 10 seconds earlier suddenly want to know where the car is parked. Nobody screams, nobody runs. It's quieter than that. A small universal animal instinct that says, don't linger here after dark. Make of that what you will. Old trees are creepy. Group psychology is a hell of a drug. But ask anyone who stood at 6th and Park after sunset, and they'll tell you the same thing. It doesn't feel like a tree that's just sitting there. It feels like a tree that's still keeping score. So, cursed maple, resurrected hedge apple, actual deadly tornado, a warning nobody listened to, and 100+ years of Louisville locals leaving beads and apparently underwear in the branches out of pure, unashamed superstition. 10 out of 10, honestly. Most cities can't even get people to recycle correctly, and Louisville got an entire population maintaining a decades-long peace treaty with a tree. Moral of the story? If a coven of witches ever tells you to beware of a specific month, maybe just, believe them? It costs nothing to be polite to people who might be able to summon weather. If you've ever in old Louisville, corner of 6th and Park, go look at it. Bring an offering if you want to stay on its good side. Just don't take anyone else's. Some legends you can debate. This one's got a death toll. I'll see you on the next one. Watch where you park. Good night.